just won't stop.
This is going to be a multi-day event, given the weather pattern.
Relentless lake effect snow takes a deadly toll.
And I've never seen anything like this. Not even the October storm we got was this bad. This is just crazy. It's crazy.
But then South Park just became a parking lot. This truck, 5 vehicles down here.
Tonight, when will the snow end? We have special coverage as Western New York tries to dig out. And now, Western New York braces for yet another round of lake effect snow. Here's a live look at downtown Buffalo. My friends, we are not out of the woods just yet. Good evening, everyone. Just when people started digging out, more snow is now on the way.
Let's take a look at the roads that are closed at this hour. Many people still stuck tonight. It remains closed, the thruway from the PA line to Henrietta. The 190 South is closed from the 90 to the 290, and the 290 East is closed from Sheridan Drive exit to the mainline thruway. Here's a recap of which other roads are closed. The 219 and the 400 remain closed in both directions. You can see all the road closures on your screen right now, as is Route 5 from Tiff Street to the 190. Transit is closed from Como Park Boulevard to Rem, and Broadway is closed from Dick to Brunswick. Walden is closed from Central Avenue to Dick Road. Also, Route 20 closed to commercial traffic from Silver Creek to Irving.
And this is an updated list on the travel bans that are still going on. Alden, Aurora, Blaisdell, Boston, Cheektowaga, south of Genesee Street, Depew, East Aurora, Eden, Elma, Fredonia, Hamburg, both town and village, Lackawanna, Lancaster, both town and village, Marilla, Orchard Park, both the town and the village, South Buffalo, and West Seneca. And Amtrak trains are not coming in from the east. No trains will run from Albany to Buffalo, Toronto, or Cleveland through at least later tonight. Also, dozens of cancellations out at the Buffalo airport.
6 people have now died from this storm. 3 of the people who died had heart attacks. The 4th person who died trying to push a stranded car through the snow. We know 5 of them were from Erie County. Another one was from another county.
And we've been working around the clock to bring you the latest information. We have a team of reporters standing by to bring you the very latest. We'll take you to Lancaster and South Buffalo in just a few minutes. But first, our unrelentless, forewarned weather team is staying on top of everything. We're going to check in right now with Don Paul and Mike Syka.
We're not allowed to relent, are we?
It's been one rough week.
Yeah, and right now we are getting a little bit of relenting from nature in terms of intensity and wind, but it is in terms of wind and in terms of snowfall rates, we're getting a little bubble of semi-relief. But late tonight, a lake effect snow warning goes back into effect for Erie, Genesee, and Wyoming counties around 11 o'clock through 1 a.m. Friday morning. That means tomorrow night, too. And then from 6 a.m. to noon on Friday for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties. And you can see the snow-covered ramp from what has been some non-lake effect snow this afternoon. That's the ramp at the Route 5 cutoff, and 21 degrees with some snow at the airport on the hour. Here are our updated snowfall projections, and I can tell you, Mike and I are both seeing some signs that this next ban, while it will become very intense and produce some terrific problems again, may not be as stationary as was this ferocious ban, which has produced so much in the way of human suffering in many cases in the Buffalo South towns and eastern suburbs. During the day tomorrow, snowfall totals, new totals, could range from a foot to up to 2 feet in the nearby Buffalo South towns, the eastern suburbs, and the Boston Hills. And this band is first going to start out in Niagara County briefly late this evening. That's why you're seeing a local total up there that's much lower. It doesn't stay there long. Then it gets to the Northtown suburbs, Clarence overnight, gets into the city before dawn, making for a snow-covered road commute, and by then winds will have picked up, so there is going to be blowing and drifting before morning and in the morning through the day tomorrow. We're taking a look right now at 4-1 Doppler radar, and this is snow in what is slightly warmer air aloft that is just enough to coat those roads that are bare, and there are some Southtowners to the north. So there are going to be some slick spots this evening ahead of lake snows. And Mike, you have some of the numbers thus far, which are numbers we've never seen
Don,
before.
this event, just incredible. I mean, we really pushed the envelope in this particular intense lake effect event. And for the folks living outside of these areas, you might be interested on what you missed out on. Look at this, 42 inches at Lackawanna, 51 at West Seneca, south end of Cheektowaga, 65 inches, 63 inches up through Lancaster, even southern sections of Akron, 17 inches. Amounts dropping off as you get well to the north and to the south of this very localized heavy lake effect snow band. In fact, for sections of the southern tier, look at this, amounts dropping off to around an inch in areas well to the north at the falls as well. This time around with this next lake effect snow event, as you just indicated, I think we're going to be spreading the pain around a little bit more, at least, during the course of the next couple days. Back to you, Nalina and Don.
Ski resorts have to love it, guys. Thank you. Well, some extra help has arrived to help with the dig out. Governor Cuomo's deployed more than 100 members of the National Guard. He's also calling neighboring states to send in their plows.
News 4's Joe Malillo continues our team coverage with the latest from the governor. Joe, good evening.
Hello, Nalina. Don, I rode with the convoy with Governor Cuomo as he got a tour of I-90 in the middle of it all. He had a real chance to soak it in. He headed on west on the thruway and spoke to a few truck drivers still stranded. The walls were 6 to 10 feet high in some spots. The governor got up and had a chat with some of the drivers who were there probably for about 24 hours. New York State Thruway Authority plows are on I-90 right now, working to clear a lane for those trucks when they eventually get unstuck. Right now, they can clear about a mile of road an hour, but they often run into buried cars and other trucks, which slows them down. The governor is also bringing in the National Guard for help. They're in the process of getting the equipment and personnel into the most affected areas, but with more snow coming, there's a lot of work ahead of everyone.
As I said, it is going to be several days, and we have a couple of challenges before the day is over. But we've done our homework, we have the preparations, we have the team, we have local leaders who are doing a great job. So at the end of the day, we will overcome, but it's going to be a long day.
A long day indeed. The plan is to get those truckers off the Lackawanna toll exit as soon as possible. The governor is working with FEMA as well. Live in the newsroom, Joe Malillo, News 4 at 5.
All right, Joe, thank you. And as is the case in many places, homes in Lancaster are buried under several feet of snow.
Many people can't even get outside. News 4's Lou Raguse is live in Lancaster. Lou?
Lancaster is heavily hit. 4 or 5 feet of snow through much of the yards in the town and especially the village. This next round of snow is already falling here, but at least it was calm enough today for residents to start to dig out. Morning in Lancaster for many people started off like this.
Had to get some gas so we could start some snow blowing.
Pulling sleds to the gas station to pick up essentials, which can mean something different to each person.
French bread pizzas, milk, juice, water.
Essentials, milk, juice, and beer.
While many are digging out of the storm with a lighthearted approach, it is more concerning for others.
We're worried about our neighbors because all our neighbors are old, and we're worried about them.
There are many elderly people in the village who are completely snowed in.
Can't get out here. I have a heart condition, and I just can't shovel.
And caretakers at nursing facilities either can't make it to work or can't leave. Some have been working since Monday.
And what's it like for you and the other people who've been going for so long?
I could fall down right now.
The work for many others is digging out of drifts taller than they are.
Just seems like you can't keep up with it.
Our driveways are trashed, our streets are trashed, but we're doing the best we can, guys.
In this community, you see all these mounds of snow, but they aren't just any ordinary snow drifts. These are actually cars buried all the way to the top.
And the cruelest part of the great storm dig out in Lancaster is they're forecasted to receive another couple feet of snow this week.
The thing with this one is we're going to bail ourselves out, and then it's going to come back again. You know, just as deep.
I should mention that a lot of people I talked to said they were, in fact, checking in on neighbors, on their elderly neighbors, to make sure they're okay. But this serves as a great reminder. If you know of elderly neighbors, they may not have a lot of family in the area, make sure to check in on them and make sure they're okay or if they need anything. Live in Lancaster, Lou Raguse, News 4 at 5.
Good advice. Thank you, Lou. And this photo came into our newsroom just a short time ago. Look at that.
Wow.
This is a view of the thruway from Ridge Road in West Seneca. You can see a line of tractor trailers stuck on the road. News 4's George Rickert is there. He joins us now on the phone. George?
Well, Don, after a day of sunshine, the snow started falling again here in West Seneca just about an hour ago. Now, as you said, this is the view from the Ridge Road overpass looking down onto the 90 thruway. About 100 cars and trucks stopped, covered in snow for 40 hours and counting now as snow removal crews attack it from the north end. I spoke with a Good Samaritan who was delivering food to his mother, and he dropped some extra milk off the Ridge Road bridge down to somebody who has been stuck on the thruway in West Seneca.
I had the extra milk, and we just saw one of the National Guard guys. There was a couple trucks underneath here. We asked him if there's guys in there. He said, yeah. And I'm like, well, here's some extra milk. Give it to somebody who can use it. So we dropped it down to him, and luckily it survived the fall. And just, trying to help these guys out. A lot of these guys have been, we see on the news and that, they've been here a day and a half, almost going to be 2 days stuck in the snow, and they don't know when they're going to get out.
That's been hard. We've been here about 40 hours. I'm very disappointed in DOT for quit plowing and for not doing their job. But I do applaud the troopers because they have done their job. And, they've been around. They've given us some water. We haven't eaten much, but the troopers did their job. DOT, they need to improve on their plan of attack for snowstorms.
Now, I should point out that most of these people can come and go. Most of them have left their cars and come back. The truckers have chosen to stay with their cars, so they can come and go. But some of the folks are being told it could be tomorrow afternoon before they're cleaned out. Employees at a nearby supermarket actually walked down onto the thruway to deliver supplies. I'll have more on that in the 6 o'clock news. For now, live on Ridge Road in West Seneca, George Rickert, News 4 at 5.
Thank you, George. As we mentioned, some people have been trapped in their cars for more than a day. Others abandoned their vehicles. News 4's Alicia Rodriguez continues our team coverage right now on Dart Street in Buffalo. Alicia.
Yeah, Don, at the impound lot here on Dart Street, this is where the city of Buffalo has been taking abandoned cars that it has towed. But it's just a small sampling of the dozens of cars that are still stuck on Buffalo City's streets. And in some cases, the drivers of those cars were stuck with them. It was an impossible situation for many drivers. The snow piled up so quickly Tuesday morning that traffic literally froze.
No way to get in, no way to get out. No one was helping clean anything up. I mean, it was pretty much a standstill.
Sarita Eversole was on her way to Maine from Indiana when she hit the storm. She was able to get off the 90 before it closed, but still ended up stuck.
We was coming through and our windshield wiper broke, so we had to get off the exit to try to get a windshield wiper blade, and this is what happened. And we stayed in our truck last night.
And it's just a mess here in South Buffalo, here on South Park and Tift. You can see there's a big rig behind me and dozens of cars that have been stranded for more than a day.
Oh, it's very cold, terrible, but still we handle it.
Lito Castillo spent the night in his big rig. He had food and water, but began to run out of gas. He was told his truck may be stuck for another day.
They're trying to clear the roads, but with it being a parking lot over here, it's really difficult.
Some drivers couldn't or wouldn't leave their vehicles, but others learned why Buffalo is called the city of good neighbors.
Man, I thank you a lot. Let me stay at the house.
Neighbors like Vinny Mardino, who stepped in to help trapped drivers.
Snow just kept coming. People were stranded, didn't know what to do. I ended up taking in 3 complete strangers last night.
It was cold, and if I had nowhere to go and I didn't find him, I don't know what would have happened to me.
And if you had your car stuck somewhere and you had to abandon it, you'll have to wait until after the travel bans are lifted before you can come and get that car. Your best bet, according to the city of Buffalo, is to call 311 to help locate it. Reporting live in Buffalo, Alicia Rodriguez, News 4 at 5.
Thank you, Alicia. And look at this. We are getting a very unique perspective tonight of the winter weather in West Seneca. Jim Grimaldi took this video from the skies using a drone. Can you imagine that? A drone. He flew it outside of his garage over his neighborhood, and as you can see, the drone's camera can barely capture what's going on right in front of it.
Pretty incredible, and we're seeing more photos of a home where snow blasted right through the front door here. These reported pictures are from Chris Hazard in Cheektowaga. She says her husband, their 5 children, 3 of their friends were in another room around 6 o'clock last night when they all heard this loud bang. Well, they realized the French doors were blasted in after a large amount of snow fell on the roof, crashed into the doors. They shoveled all the snow out and made a makeshift wall with a 6-foot table and a treadmill to keep the snow out for now. Pretty crafty. Firefighters from the town of Tonawanda, Sheridan Park District 4, walked through the snow. There you see a picture with them to get to the home.
Thankfully, that is a living room. That is our second living room, and we were not in there, thank God, because somebody would have gotten hurt. The doors, the snow had fallen off the back of the roof and blew the doors and jammed everything right in, clear across that room.
Today is Chris and her husband's anniversary, so we wish them the best. They're not going to forget this one while they're waiting the storm out.
You're right, Nelina. And this is what Ralph Wilson Stadium looks like tonight. The Buffalo Bills are looking for help clearing out the Ralph. People will be put to work shoveling out the Ralph. They'll get $10 an hour and a game ticket. You can call the number on your screen, 636-4840. We're told that number is tied up right now. You might want to try and give it a call later. And fans wondering if Sunday's game at the Ralph is going to happen. We just got this statement from the NFL. Quote, "We are working with the Bills to determine the status of the stadium. If a change to the schedule needs to be made, the league will make that decision, working closely with the club and local authorities." When we come back, we'll meet the family who brought a little bundle of joy into the world in the middle of this storm.
We're bringing you special coverage of this emergency situation in Western New York. Here is a look at some of our reported pictures we've been getting as we head to commercial break. We'll be right back. Our live special emergency coverage of this situation started 12 hours and 18 minutes ago. It's been nonstop. Here right now is a look at the forewarned Doppler. The lake effect snow machine is not ready to shut off. More snow is on the way tonight. Several roads are still closed at this hour as crews are out there working to dig out.
And here's a quick recap. The thruway is still closed from the PA line to Henrietta. The 190 South is closed from the 90 to the 290. And the Youngman East is closed from the Sheridan Drive exit to the Main Line Thruway. Lauren Hall is keeping tabs on the roadways. Lauren?
We're going to start right by that 290 closure, Don. It's bizarre to see such a lonely blue water tower at about 5:18 on a weekday. This should be the middle of our evening commute, and things would normally be very congested here where the 290 meets the thruway at this time of day. Not so much today. We do see that volume is picking up a little bit from where it was all day on the 290, on the 33, and on the 198. They are pretty much the only roads that are still open at this point. Everywhere else is pretty much closed. That includes the thruway, the 219, the 400, and the entire 190 South. In the hardest hits areas of West Seneca, Cheektowaga, and Depew, you want to make sure that you avoid Walden Avenue, Transit Road, and Broadway. Back up in Amherst, though, the 290 and the 990, they actually are working quite well at this point. If you know someone that got to work downtown and needs to get back home, they should be just fine taking the 33 back to the north town. Just remember, you won't be able to merge onto the 90 here and get onto the 290 because both of those closures there. You'll have to take it all the way up to Genesee by the airport. Back over to you.
Thank you, Lauren. 6 people have died in this storm. 3 of the people who died had heart attacks, and the 4th died while trying to push a stranded car through this thick, heavy snow. But there is some good news to report tonight.
A woman who went into labor but couldn't make it to the hospital has welcomed her bundle of joy into the world. News 4's Rich Newberg spoke with the family today. Rich?
Donna and Alina, this is one of the incredible stories to come out of the great storm of 2014. Jared and Bethany Honecki are convinced that the safe birth of their daughter, Lucy Grace, was a matter of divine intervention. As the storm raged Tuesday in South Buffalo, Bethany went into labor. There was no way to get Bethany to Mercy Hospital. Jared had just dropped off their 19-month-old son, Jesse, to Jared's father in his car safely. Desperate for help, Jared, by chance, ran into a Buffalo firefighter, who then, by chance, ran into a pediatric nurse who was stranded in her car. That nurse was Denise Perry, who stayed with Bethany as she was transported to the fire hall on Abbott Road. Denise then helped deliver the baby.
around 8 at night, the contractions started getting closer and more intense. And around 9 o'clock, I thought, oh, I feel like I might have to push. So we went to a little back room that had a bed in it, fortunately, that was all set up for us. And Denise helped me get in the right position. And 2 pushes, and out she came.
Denise is telling us she's delivered tons of babies. We felt so much peace because so many people were praying for us, and it was incredible.
The story becomes even more incredible because a second nurse in the background there who had been stranded found her way to the fire hall and helped take care of the baby after the birth. This is her specialty. The name of the baby plays a role here, too. I'll have more on that coming up at 5:30. Reporting live, Rich Newberg, News 4 at 5.
Thank you, Rich. You know, that story has gone viral. My youngest son, who lives in New York City, knew all about it when he called home today.
Just an incredible story. Yeah. I'm glad Rich spoke with that family. It really is. It really is.
Don, no blessing in your department.
Well, we are out of the lake effect for a couple of hours into regular snow, and it's just enough to coat the roads that have escaped accumulation to this point. And let's show you a time lapse where the 290 meets the Millersport, I believe, and you can see mostly wet roads, but just before the sun sets, a little bit of slush showing up in those lanes, and pretty easy to hydroplane even on a thin coating of slush. So there are slick spots where the snow hadn't piled up much, and of course it's already slick from the just unmanageable amounts of snow which have fallen to the south. The next lake effect snow warning, and if you've had your shades drawn and the set off, there is one, starts at 11 o'clock tonight for Erie, Genesee, and Wyoming counties. The lake snow will start in Niagara County, but there's no warning there because it won't stay there long enough to reach true lake snow warning criteria. And then it starts at 11, runs through 1 a.m. Friday morning north, and Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties, for you the warning starts at 6 a.m. and goes through noon Friday. We have snow at the airport, 21 degrees. It is coating things, but the winds are not a big factor now. They will be again before morning and through the day tomorrow. So this is steadier snow with a few bursts of moderate snow, and there is more to the west. And Mike Syka and I have been keeping an eye on the trends upwind because that often sends a message. We have one more burst of non-lake effect, and watch these bands in western Michigan. They are sinking south. Our rapid precision model, which I'm going to show you in a moment, also shows this band will not be, this next band, as stationary as was yesterday's virtually devastating lake effect snow. Let's show you the newest run. Here's the widespread non-lake effect snow, but by late evening, another intense, thin band of heavy snow, dark blue indicating huge snowfall rates, starting out near Niagara Falls, the Tonawondas, shifting quickly across the Buffalo South towns into the metro area, out toward Batavia. The thruway impacted in Chautauqua County, Angola, and also out toward Batavia. And then our model takes it a little farther south, even by 2 a.m., and if the model were on the money, it would take it into ski country for a little while. I don't know that it's going to go that far south in the morning. Think we're done? Nuh-uh. A little wave in the flow sends it all back. Extremely intense snow, that dark blue, right back to at least South Buffalo, the eastern suburbs, again, the south towns. And then during the mid-afternoon, it does finally make a permanent move into the southern tier, where the snow will still persist into Friday morning, but we will be out of it. And the wind chill, it's nasty, but nothing like what we had yesterday. The wind's coming up again by morning. The widespread snow showers this evening, slick spots, and then that intense lake effect snow starts late this evening and shifts southward into and through the metro area, 4 to 8 inches by dawn. 14 valleys, 22 metro area. Tomorrow, heavy lake snow. Occasionally in South Buffalo, the Buffalo South towns and eastern suburbs, it may go a little farther south, then it comes back around midday, and another 10 to 20 inches could fall in the stricken areas on top of what you've got, 22 to 26. Tomorrow night, we'll see that lake snow staying well south, and on Friday, that snow icon, that's for the southern tier in the morning. Saturday is your tranquil day, the day to try to get snow off the roofs if you can do it safely. Showers develop on Sunday, especially widespread late Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. That combined with a thaw will pose a serious threat to load-bearing structures, roofs, especially flat roofs, and a flood threat. And then Monday, we're at 55. We do turn chillier and then colder in advance of Thanksgiving. And Wednesday, extended models are showing a southwest flow and air just cold enough to produce some possible lake effect snow again just before the holiday. More coming up next half hour, of course.
All right, Don, thank you. Straight ahead, important tips to keep your home safe with the heavy snow. Our team coverage continues next.
We're bringing you live, nonstop coverage as lake effect snow hammers western New York. Safety is very important during a time like this.
From the roof to the vents, it's important for homeowners to make sure that all your houses are safe. News 4's Al Vaughters is here with important tips. Al, good evening.
Good evening, Lalina and Don. Western New Yorkers are digging out of snow, the depths of which we have not seen in decades, if at all. Heavy snow can be dangerous, and on the roof, it can be deadly. Some of the hardest hit areas of Cheektowaga were buried to the tops of their windows and doors and their roofs. Lori and Mike Brew shoveled their roof for good reason.
Clear the vents because we're afraid of carbon monoxide.
Heavy snow was clogging the exhaust vent of their furnace, which shut off automatically to prevent deadly fumes from backing up into their home.
He was up on the roof 5-6 times during the course of the night just to make sure that vent was clear. We could tell when we would hear the furnace go off, you would know that it was clogged.
Mike and Lori had another reason to clear the roof. The 3 to 4 feet of snow weighs thousands of pounds, and some of the roofs in this housing development have already collapsed.
I had to get some of the weight off the carport so it doesn't crush my car.
But next door at Cayuga Village, all but a few of the 80 residents are without heat because the roof vents there are clogged with snow. Lisa Sekaturski's mom is one of them.
She's on oxygen, and she's claustrophobic. She's got COPD, and she's on a lung transplant waiting list.
And she's been trapped in here?
Yes.
But in times like these, neighbors like Jim Manuela and Karen Young are pitching in to keep those exhaust vents clear.
So we went around to a couple of the elderly neighbors and just made sure their vents were clear. Just because they're old and they're widowed, so we wanted to make sure that they were safe.
But even the shoveling and snow blowing itself can be hazardous to your health.
Please do not go outside and shovel the driveway. The additional stress on your heart of being outside in the cold, in addition to shoveling that heavy snow, and it is heavy out there, can cause people to have heart attacks.
We can report a contractor is now clearing the roof vents at Cayuga Village so residents can finally turn their furnaces back on. But the owner of the complex told us he's had to hire a new snowplow operator because, get this, the contractor he hired couldn't plow himself out of his own parking lot. Al Vaughters, News 4 at 5.
Al, thank you. Just ahead, this isn't the first time drivers have been stranded on the thruway.
How did it happen again? Luke Moretti is asking that question at 5:30, and Alicia Rodriguez is live.
I'm Alicia Rodriguez in South Buffalo, where dozens of cars, even big rigs, have been stranded for more than a day. I'll explain why some people ended up sleeping in their cars overnight.